Hi, I'm Ollie, and this is Queer Will's Corner. As you can see by the title, I will be talking about legally changing my name. I would like to share with you a little bit of my emotional and mental experience through this journey, as well as some tips and pointers if you're thinking about legally changing your name as well. Before I get started, I am wearing my You Can't Erase Us shirt, which was made by Aaron. I don't remember his name, but he's a disabled trans YouTuber and he talks about a lot of cool things on his channel. He talks about his disabilities, being trans. So I will link to his channel in the description because you should check him out. He's definitely worth watching. He's really cool. I also got my new driver's license with the right name, woohoo, and my new bank card today. So between getting the shirt yesterday and the new license and the new bank card, it just feels like this is a really good day to make this video. To start, I would like to show you a video that I tried to film the very first day that I went to the courthouse and I filed my petition to change my name. In this video, I'm really anxious. The sound quality is not the best because I was in the courthouse hallway. But some things to be aware of that are manifestations of my anxiety are stimming on my head. I very easily lose my train of thought or repeat myself. So you'll see. But just kind of keep those in mind that those are anxiety things for me. And then I will be back to chat with you a little bit more after that.
So I am at the courthouse right now. So I have to be a little bit quiet about it because I'm in the hallway and I don't want to, I'm in the hallway, so I have to be a little bit quiet right now, but I'm in the courthouse to change my name, and I'm really anxious, but I am not dissociating at all right now. I've pretty much been, I have my chewable mushroom with me, and I also bought myself some Tic Tacs. And I've pretty much been chewing nonstop, and that's been helping. The Tic Tacs are a chewing substitute that I found because, one, it's something in my mouth that is tactile sensation, so that helps me focus a little bit on that instead of being on anxious, and it also is a chewing thing that kind of works because it offers some chewing resistance, and they're really nice because they're small and not obvious that you're chewing. You just look like you really like Tic Tacs, and I usually edit out my stimming for videos, but I would not be able to be talking right now if I wasn't stimming on my head, so please just forgive me for that, but I thought it was important to document my anxiety through this process.
Hi again. I was a little bit anxious about sharing that video with you, but I do think it is important to share my honest experience and my honest truth with my mental illnesses. So this is the best way that I know how to do that. Some of the other things that happened surrounding my court date was I was told by the clerk for my judge that it didn't matter if I was awarded confidential filing or not, that I would still have to publish the request in the newspaper. She didn't fucking understand the confidential filing at all. If you file for confidential filing and you are awarded it, then you do not have to publish in the newspaper. That is the entire point of confidential filing. If someone tells you that you have to file in the newspaper when you're accepted for confidential filing, ignore that shit, because no. The entire point of confidential filing is that it's confidential. What a concept. But then I also discovered that there's a very specific order of operations for what you need to do in order to get your documents in order after you get your name changed. The very first thing that you need to do after getting your name changed, when you are still at the courthouse is you need to make sure that you get the confirmation that your name was legally changed, and it has to have the raised seal. That's the legal whatever. It can't just be stamped with the date. It has to have the raised seal, and you need to pay for a couple of copies of that because depending on where else you go, each location may need their own copy. So I got 2 copies of the raised seal, one for the Social Security office and one for the DMV. And you do have to pay for that. I'm not sure if you have to pay for that when you have your fees waived, but I did have to pay for that. The very first thing that you do after you have those copies of the confirmation that you were allowed to change your name and it has the raised seal thing, you need to go to the Social Security office first. Have them update your Social Security number to the new name. Now you have to do this first because if you go to the DMV first without having that Social Security number updated, the computer won't actually let you follow through and complete the process to get a new ID. And I found this out the hard way. I was so excited about getting my new ID that I went to the DMV the day that I got my name changed. I got all the way through like the paperwork and the waiting for the computer to like not allow them to print off my new ID because my Social Security number wasn't attached to my new name yet. So Social Security office first, and then after you go to the Social Security office, you have to wait a couple of days to a week, maybe a week and a half to be safe. But you need to wait for it to update in the Social Security office's system and the DMV system. That was another thing that nobody told me, was that it would take a couple of days for it to process over and actually register in their system as the correct name. Now, the person at the Social Security office did say that he thought that I should be able to go to the DMV with just the receipt that the Social Security office gives you, because I did think of this ahead and like try to ask, but the person that I talked to said that you should just be able to take the receipt from the Social Security office and go to the DMV and be able to get your new license like that. That's not the case. It has to process through the system for a couple of days or a week first. And then after it finally processes through the Social Security office's system and the DMV system and you can get your new ID, then you need to take your new ID and you need to go to your bank. I'm not sure if this is the same way for all banks, but my bank actually needed my new ID to change my name on my bank account and not the order for the name change. They needed the physical ID. To recap, first, when you have your court date, you need to make sure to get a couple of copies of the confirmation paper with the raised seal. Second, you need to take those copies of the confirmation paper with the raised seal and go to the Social Security office and get your new name attached to your Social Security number. After that, you need to take the receipt from the Social Security office to the DMV after a couple of days to a week to let it get into the DMV system. Third, you can go to the DMV and get your new ID. And you need to have the receipt from Social Security office as well as the confirmation with the raised seal from the courthouse. And then they will also have like a application at the DMV that you will just need to fill out for a new, like it's essentially a replacement card. Last, you can go to your bank and show them your new ID and get your name changed on your bank account. Now, one other thing that seems really logical, but I just didn't really comprehend that this had to be the way that it had to be when I legally changed my name that nobody else told me, you have to be dead named a lot in the beginning. I've had Oliver listed as my preferred name for like my doctor's offices and my therapist's office for 3 years now. You still got to go to all these places and like actually tell them, hey, I legally changed my name. They have to be able to find you in the system, so they have to pull up the dead name. Like once you get all the details taken care of, the being dead named, that much kind of goes away, thankfully. You do have to go through that whole being dead named a lot after you legally change your name at first. I feel so euphoric right now, and like we just shaved my head the other night, so my head is my own personal stim toy again. And I know that I've mentioned stimming a couple of times, but I don't know if I've ever actually defined it. Stimming is repetitive self-stimulation that can be soothing, or it can be like to help someone focus, or they just need to like let out excess energy. I stim all the time, to be honest. You know what? I'm gonna do an entire video on my stims eventually, so just be on the lookout for that. Thank you for watching. As always, all videos will always be captioned. Holy fucking alliteration, Batman. Why so many A's? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content that I'm creating, please hit the like and subscribe button. Please feel free to tell me in the comments if you had difficulties legally changing your name and how you got through those. If you want to legally change your name, you're valid, and I see you as the name that you are. If you can't afford to legally change your name, you're valid, and I see you as the name that you are. Keep on keeping on, dude. Thanks for watching.